So, disgraced former CNN journalist Don Limb secured an interview with Elon Musk that he posted over the weekend. And, well, you could take the demon out of CNN, but you can't take CNN out of the demon. The interview is an hour long. It's available on YouTube. Highly suggest that you watch it. But just a forewarning, the difference of intelligence between these two people is stark, to say the least. This interview was packed with would-be gotcha moments, but Don Limb just isn't that intelligent. It was almost like Don Limb was auditioning for his position back on Clown News Network. Being a non-cis person of color is not enough boxes to check anymore, Limb. Now you gotta be like a demi-boy them with like a speech impediment or something that came here in a caravan from Venezuela and has $250,000 of student loan debt or something. Don Limb would ask questions like, he's like, so you're the CEO of X, formerly Twitter. How long do we have to call it that? Why are you anti-Semitic? I honestly can't tell if Don Limb is stupid or just pretends to be stupid, but either way, he's a dirt merchant for half the questions that he said. Actually, pretty much all of the questions that he asked. Because he would persistently pretend to not understand what words and phrases mean. One of the things that they spent a bit of time talking about was DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives that Elon has commented and reposted on X. And Elon talked about how we should not reduce the testing or security standards in things like medicine, surgeons, doctors, or things like air travel, pilots, and so forth. That we shouldn't reduce the testing requirements to hold these positions, as it could be a risk for safety, and that every person should be held to the same standard regardless of their race or gender or color or whatever. And Limb would say something like, oh, are you saying that black people are incapable of meeting those standards? And Elon says, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody should have the same standard and we shouldn't be lowering them to meet some type of equity quota. And Limb would say, oh, well, most doctors are white and most pilots are white, and studies show that there has not been any less safety in the medical field or in the pilot field or whatever as a result of these people being in there. Do you think that they are not capable? And he goes, no. Elon is just noticing a trend like everybody else, not only with the rhetoric, actions, and policies that are being put in place about how they are and want to reduce these standards and testing requirements in order for people to fill these positions that fit a certain type of quota. And Limb is like, well, that's not happening. Yeah. Yet, bro, yet, if he wants them to not do that going forward, you soggy Limb. Another topic they discussed was free speech, and clearly soggy boy Don Limb doesn't understand what that means. And it was just too wild watching this guy get tripped up in his own questions. Like, he really thought that Elon was going to fumble these questions and get caught in just a series of gotchas, and he just never fell for it even close. Like, Don Limb would say, oh, you're a free speech absolutist, and I love free speech, but I think there should be a limit to hate speech. And Elon says, well, that means that you like censorship. No, I don't like censorship. And he was citing these cartoons that he was calling anti-Semitic. Limb would say, well, why don't you remove those? Elon says, well, they're not illegal. We are not going to do anything that's not illegal. We're not going to remove or censor things that are not illegal. And Don Limb, in his infinite wisdom, is like, well, you remove adult content depicting children. And Elon goes, that's illegal. But what it made me realize about this aging, soggy, like smooth-brained liar Don Limb is that I used to think that they were just nothing more than a talking head for CNN, and they couldn't possibly believe these things that they're saying. But it turns out they actually do. Don Limb tried to classify himself and even was surprised by classifying CNN as being left. He's suggested he's some type of centrist. Okay, Limb. But this is really the intellectual conversation with these soggy, smooth-brained leftists. It's like you're dealing with people that are not mentally capable of processing basic things without finding some victimhood position that they can assume for themselves. And Limb even had to take a victimhood position for himself, to which Elon responded, you've been very successful. Like, what exactly are these major disadvantages that Don Limb has? You were a primetime news anchor for many years, reaching the upper levels of success, and it certainly wasn't because of your intelligence, Limb. We can all see that. But this interview is just so fascinating because Don Lime just perfectly encapsulates the victimhood leftist mentality, where absolutely nothing could happen or will happen without there being some grave structural disadvantage that's baked into the cake. That's the reason that any and everything happens. And that if you believe in equal treatment and free speech and upholding the country and doing what you believe or at least can see is right and equal and even for all people. But in the end, as Elon alludes to, it's not about what the people think that you did. It's about what you actually did, the legacy that you actually leave as a result of your execution, not on the court of public opinion for right now or what the media sees you as. Because future generations and modern generations of people that understand will look back at Elon Musk as a person who made great sacrifices and did great things to the benefit of, in a lot of ways, humanity and the world, and especially America. But history will likely look at Don Lime as someone who rose to prominence not through achievement or intelligence, but instead by meeting some immutable characteristic boxes that needed to be checked. He was a person who told the truth at one time and then completely bought in, hook, line, and sinker, to the leftist mainstream narrative lies, got bumped from his prime time spot down to a morning spot. His coworkers didn't like the things that he said. He became a liability, and then he got canned. And then in a final grasp for relevance, he made a YouTube channel like so many of these failed news pundits eventually do, secured an interview with one of the most successful businessmen in American history, and then proceeded to barrage him with 1 hour of gotcha questions that shows how little intelligence and understanding he actually has. But hey, welcome back to the public spotlight, Lime. We really thought that maybe you were just another CNN talking head, lying serpent demon, but it turns out that is your actual personality. And intelligence is not the reason why anyone listens to Don Lime. Best of luck with the YouTube show. I will never watch it again.